The Dallas Cowboys are diving deep into their roster evaluations as they ramp up for the upcoming season. And this week, all eyes are on 5 players currently undergoing workouts with the team. These sessions aren't just routine. They're a chance for each player to prove they belong in a franchise known for its high standards and fierce competition. Among those vying for a spot are names carrying a mix of promise, experience, and, in some cases, complicated pasts, making this phase of training camp one of the most intriguing yet. Leading the pack in terms of buzz is defensive tackle Perrion Winfrey. His story is far from typical. Drafted in the 4th round of the 2022 NFL Draft, Winfrey's journey has been turbulent, to say the least. His early promise out of Oklahoma was undeniable. He was seen as a potential asset on the defensive line. However, his professional career hit multiple roadblocks, largely due to off-field issues that have overshadowed his on-field talent. Despite showing flashes of ability, he found himself cut by the Cleveland Browns after several workouts, largely because of a series of incidents that put his reliability in question. One particular event involved an accusation of misdemeanor assault connected to a personal dispute, which, though ultimately resolved without charges, raised enough red flags for teams to hesitate. Then there was another unsettling episode involving a confrontation that escalated to threats with a firearm. While the victim chose not to press charges, the Browns had made their decision, ending their relationship with Winfrey. He was briefly signed by the New York Jets, but that stint was short-lived. In pursuit of redemption and a second chance, Winfrey turned to the United States Football League, where he played for the Birmingham Stallions. His performance there was respectable, recording tackles, sacks, and pass breakups that suggested he still possesses the physical tools to compete. Yet, his future in the NFL hinges on how teams weigh his talent against the baggage he brings. For Dallas, his size and skill set don't fit the mold of a traditional space-eating defensive tackle. He's more of a versatile player who might function better in certain defensive fronts, somewhat similar to players like Neville Gallimore, who can slide into multiple roles but aren't the prototypical hulking presence on the line. Another player in the mix is Dev Levelston, a defensive tackle who's taken a more under-the-radar path. Coming out of SMU as an undrafted free agent, Levelston spent last year on the Seahawks practice squad and saw limited action with the Memphis Showboats in the UFL. His playing time has been sporadic, and his role is generally perceived as that of a cam body, someone who provides depth and competes for a roster spot, but is unlikely to be a key contributor early on. His strengths lie in run defense, where he can plug gaps and help contain opposing ground attacks, but he doesn't have the flash or versatility that might make him a standout candidate for immediate playing time. For a team like Dallas, which is looking to solidify its defensive front, Levelston represents an option to bring competition and keep the roster sharp, even if he's not expected to move the needle drastically. When it comes to cornerbacks, the Cowboys have invited 2 journeymen with NFL experience to the workouts, Jerry Jacobs and Robert Rell. Jerry Jacobs has had a more visible presence in the league, having started games and contributed notably during his time with the Detroit Lions. His career has been marked by moments of impact, such as interceptions and solid coverage plays, but consistency has been an issue. In the 2023 season, he recorded 3 interceptions, adding to his career total of 4, showing he can make plays when given the opportunity. However, roster depth at cornerback is a complex puzzle for Dallas this offseason. Injuries and recoveries are shaping the competition, with players like Trayvon Diggs still not fully healthy, and others like Anthony Brown-Day and Josh Butler sidelined or unavailable. Jerry Jacobs slots into this scenario as a possible candidate to fill out the depth chart, though he might be competing for a role similar to those held by other veteran journeymen like Andrew Booth or Troy Pride, who serve as valuable insurance but rarely start. His chances of cracking the final roster depend heavily on his performance in practice and preseason games, as well as how the team's health unfolds. Robert Rell brings a different story. Drafted in the 4th round back in 2021 by the Los Angeles Rams, he's bounced around the league, trying to find a stable home. He's played for multiple teams, including stints with Seattle, Carolina, Green Bay, and the Kansas City Chiefs, but has primarily been used as a special teams contributor. Rel's journey has been characterized by perseverance and adaptability, but he hasn't yet secured a long-term role as a starter or key defensive back. For Dallas, he might represent a low-risk addition with upside, especially if he can leverage his draft pedigree and experience to carve out a niche. While he's unlikely to be a headline-grabbing signing, players like him often prove valuable in providing depth and special teams play, which are critical components of a successful NFL roster. Rounding out the group is offensive tackle George Fant, arguably the most recognizable name on the list for Cowboys fans and NFL followers alike. Fant has built a career as a versatile lineman, capable of stepping in at both left and right tackle positions. An undrafted free agent out of Western Kentucky, he's accumulated nearly 5,000 snaps in the league, a testament to his durability and reliability. Fant has worn the uniforms of teams like the Seattle Seahawks, New York Jets, and Houston Texans, and while age is beginning to catch up with him, his experience is a valuable commodity, especially for a Cowboys offensive line that blends youth with inexperience. The current Dallas line features promising players like Terrence Steele and Tyler Smith, who have seen significant playing time despite their relative youth, while others like Matt Gayton and Tyler Booker are still developing or recovering. Fant's ability to provide a seasoned presence and a swing tackle option makes him an intriguing candidate for a team looking to balance talent with veteran leadership. His connection to the Cowboys coaching staff, particularly defensive line coaches who have crossed paths with him in past teams, adds another layer to the potential fit. Dallas fans watching these developments should keep an eye on how these workouts translate into roster decisions in the coming weeks. Each player brings a unique background and set of skills, and the Cowboys front office will have to weigh talent, character, and fit within the team's culture. The preseason will be crucial for these hopefuls to prove they deserve a place in the final 53-man roster. While none of these signings alone will overhaul the team's fortunes, they represent the essential, often overlooked puzzle pieces that can make the difference between a playoff run and an early exit. What makes this phase particularly interesting for the Cowboys is how these workouts underscore the reality of building an NFL roster beyond the star names and marquee draft picks. Teams live and die by the depth and the hidden gems they can uncover among players fighting to prove themselves. For the Cowboys, these 5 players represent more than just bodies to fill space. They are potential contributors who could emerge as key cogs during a long and physically demanding season. Injuries inevitably take a toll, and having reliable, experienced players ready to step in can be the difference between maintaining momentum and falling apart under pressure. The offensive line situation is a perfect example of why someone like George Fant could be vital. While the Cowboys have some promising young talent, the line still lacks the consistent, battle-tested experience necessary to withstand the rigors of an entire NFL season. Fant's nearly 5,000 career snaps mean he's seen everything, faced the best pass rushers, and managed the chaos of NFL trenches at high level. He offers flexibility, able to swing between left and right tackle, which is a luxury for any coaching staff. That kind of versatility is priceless when injuries inevitably hit, as they almost always do. Plus, his veteran presence in the locker room could provide invaluable mentorship to younger linemen trying to find their footing. On the defensive side, the Cowboys clearly want to add depth at tackle. Both Winfree and Levelston bring different strengths, but neither fits the classic mold of a dominant, space-eating nose tackle. Instead, they're players who can rotate in and potentially contribute in sub-packages or fill in as needed, which helps keep the starters fresh and less prone to injury over a demanding season. Winfree's off-field history complicates things, but if the Cowboys feel confident that he's learned from past mistakes and can focus on football, he might represent a high-upside gamble. His performance in the USFL showed he still has the talent to compete at a high level, even if he's not the prototypical interior lineman teams covet. Cornerback remains a position of intrigue, with key players like Trayvon Diggs nursing injuries and other depth options limited. The Cowboys need competition and experience. Jerry Jacobs fits the bill as someone with starting experience who can provide depth and possibly surprise in camp. Robert Rel's journeyman status and special teams experience also add to the chess game Dallas must play in assembling a complete, balanced roster. It's not always about having the flashiest players. Sometimes it's about having reliable guys who show up every week, do their job, and help the team in subtle but critical ways. Another layer to consider is the chemistry and familiarity factor. Players like George Fant, who have connections with current coaches or have spent time in similar systems, can often acclimate more quickly. That inside knowledge can shorten the learning curve and translate into more immediate contributions on the field. The Cowboys coaching staff's prior relationships with some of these players could give them an edge in evaluating who fits the scheme and culture best. As these workouts progress and the Cowboys evaluate every rep, the reality is that most of these players are battling for roster spots that aren't guaranteed. Competition will be fierce, and even solid performances might not be enough to break through if other players outperform them. But that's the nature of the NFL grind. Every year, dozens of hopefuls come through, and only a handful make it all the way. For the Cowboys, it's about stacking the odds in their favor by bringing in players who have the tools, the resilience, and the right mindset to contribute when called upon. The coming weeks will be filled with intense training, positional battles, and strategic decisions. Each of these workouts is a chance for the Cowboys to sharpen their roster and ensure they have the depth to sustain a playoff push. Fans watching should stay tuned, because while these names might not be the ones topping headlines today, their impact over the course of the season could be significant, especially when the physical demands start to pile up and every snap counts. The journey from tryout to roster spot is never easy, but for those 5 players, the Cowboys' workouts represent a crucial opportunity, one that could define the next chapter of their football careers. But before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the Dallas Cowboys. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments as well. Could Marquez Callaway be the newest weapon in Dallas? That's the question echoing through the NFL rumor mill this week, as whispers suggest that the former Saints and Broncos wide receiver might be headed to the Dallas Cowboys. Though nothing has been made official, social media has already erupted with speculation, and fans are beginning to imagine how Callaway could fit into the Cowboys' high-powered offense. The possibility of Callaway donning the star-studded helmet has sent Cowboys Nation into a frenzy. Supporters on various platforms have been quick to celebrate the potential addition, hailing it as a smart, low-risk move that could add depth and explosiveness to the receiving core. Known for his ability to stretch the field and make big plays, Callaway had a breakout year in 2021 with New Orleans, where he notched nearly 700 receiving yards and 6 touchdowns. Since then, his production has dipped, but many believe a change of scenery and a chance to play with a top-tier quarterback could reignite his career. Sources close to the situation remain tight-lipped, but it's not hard to see why this move would make sense for Dallas. With the team looking to build on a strong 2024 campaign, adding another dynamic pass catcher could be just what's needed to elevate the offense to the next level. While CeeDee Lamb remains the clear WR1, there's growing belief that the Cowboys need more reliable options to keep defenses honest. Callaway, still just 26, brings a blend of speed and physicality that could complement the existing group well. As with any offseason rumor, it's wise to take things with a grain of salt. The Cowboys have been linked to numerous free agents this year, and not all reports have panned out. Still, the excitement surrounding Callaway's potential arrival speaks volumes. Whether or not the deal materializes, one thing is certain. The fan base is ready for another splash, and Callaway could be just the surprise move to keep the headlines buzzing in Big D. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Dallas Cowboys, please subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. We always look forward to your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.